The skies over Earth had never been more terrifying. Massive alien ships hovered silently above every major city, casting shadows that stretched for miles. People looked up in fear, clutching their children and hoping, somehow, that this was just a nightmare. But deep down, everyone knew it was real. For decades, humans had tried to stay peaceful. They had sent messages of diplomacy, warnings, and pleas for coexistence. But the aliens had not listened. Entire colonies were destroyed, cities burned, and millions of lives lost. Yet, humans had remained patient until now. Captain Liam Carter stood on the rooftop of the New York Command Center. His uniform was dirty, torn from months of constant skirmishes and defensive maneuvers. He had once believed in mercy, in giving every being a chance. But now, as he watched the alien fleet above, he felt something different, rage. "This ends tonight," Liam muttered under his breath. His eyes scanned the sky, where alien warships hung like giant predators. Civilians moved below him, fearful but still trying to carry on. Markets, streets, schools, all seemed fragile against the looming threat. Meanwhile, inside one of the massive alien ships, the alien commander, Zorath, observed Earth. Zorath was tall, with translucent skin that glowed faintly. His eyes were cold, calculating, and devoid of empathy. He had grown confident over the years, convinced that humans were weak, incapable of true resistance. "They will bow," Zorath hissed to his officers. "They will beg for mercy, as they always do." But humans were different now. Something had changed. The first sign came in the outer colonies, where humans had hidden experimental fleets in secret. Overnight, entire alien patrols were destroyed without warning. Alien commanders woke to find their ships vanished, their men gone, and messages of defiance replacing silence. Back on Earth, Liam convened a meeting with other leaders. The war rooms were tense. Screens displayed live feeds of destruction across the planet and the colonies. Military leaders argued over tactics, but Liam's voice cut through the noise. "No more waiting. No more apologies. Humanity has been patient for too long. Tonight we fight back, not because we want war, but because we have no choice left." The room went silent. Some were shocked. Some were relieved. But everyone knew he was right. Outside, civilians watched the sky, unaware of the plans forming below. Children clutched toys, parents clutched each other, and somewhere an old man whispered a prayer. Humanity had always believed in being kind, in helping even when the odds were impossible. But this was no longer the time for kindness. As night fell, humans made their first move. It was subtle at first, small, precise strikes on alien outposts. Alien ships began to explode in the distance, sudden fireballs lighting up the night sky. Panic spread through the alien ranks. They had never expected humans to retaliate so quickly, so effectively. In one of the human battleships, Lieutenant Sarah Kim stared at the control panel, her hands trembling but determined. She had joined the fleet to protect her family, and now she realized the scope of what was happening. This was not just survival, it was humanity proving that it would no longer be prey. On the ground, in cities still under alien watch, humans began to organize. Underground networks, resistance groups, and trained civilians joined forces with the military. Street by street, block by block, they reclaimed what had been lost. Every victory, no matter how small, fueled the anger and courage of the human population. Meanwhile, Zorath's confidence began to crumble. Reports flooded in from every sector. Alien patrols destroyed, communications jammed, key resources gone. His officers argued over strategy, their voices growing frantic. "They are stronger than we imagined," one officer said. "Impossible," Zorath snapped. "Humans are weak. They cannot match our technology." But the proof was undeniable. Human ingenuity, determination, and unpredictability made them a threat unlike any other Zorath had faced. Back at the command center, Liam observed a strange phenomenon. The humans fighting back were not all soldiers. Ordinary people, teachers, engineers, even children in secret ways, found courage they never knew existed. It was not just a military response, it was the spirit of humanity rising. At the same time, a small alien delegation landed near the city center. They arrived under a banner of peace, claiming to negotiate a ceasefire. The humans watched them warily, unsure whether to trust or strike. Liam met the delegation personally. The aliens spoke in calm, calculated tones, offering terms that seemed reasonable on the surface. But Liam had seen enough betrayal. He had watched cities burn, families vanish, and promises broken. Peace is not an option, he said firmly. Not anymore. The alien delegation recoiled slightly, their glowing eyes narrowing. You refuse to comply? One hissed. Liam's reply was simple. We will no longer be weak. We will no longer forgive. Enough is enough. As he said those words, a tremor ran through the alien delegation. Back on the ships above, alien commanders realized that humans were no longer predictable, no longer easy to intimidate. The first human strike was coordinated perfectly. Alien outposts were attacked simultaneously from land, sea, and sky. Explosions lit up the night, and for the first time, humanity felt the thrill of resistance, the power of taking control of their own fate. In one of the city streets, a young boy watched his father lead a team to disable an alien drone. He could barely hold his excitement and fear. This was a turning point, and even children sensed it. Humans were no longer prey, they were hunters. As the night grew darker, reports of victories came in from every corner of the planet. Alien ships were falling, patrols were destroyed, and human coordination was unmatched. Even Zorath could not keep up. And yet, the war was far from over. The aliens were furious, their pride wounded, and they would respond with greater force. But humanity had already shown its hand. They had stopped being nice. They had said enough. From the rooftops, Liam looked at the city, now alive with human defiance. Fires burned where alien drones had fallen, and the sound of explosions echoed like a heartbeat across the skyline. He felt exhaustion, fear, but also pride. Humanity had changed, and there was no turning back. In a hidden bunker, Sarah Kim and her team prepared for the next assault. She looked at the young soldiers around her and realized that courage was contagious. Ordinary humans were doing extraordinary things. The war has just begun, she whispered, tightening her gloves. Back on the alien command ship, Zorath clenched his fists. His eyes glowed brighter with anger. They will pay, he growled. They cannot escape the consequences of challenging us. But the humans were ready. They had discovered the power of unity, courage, and refusal to be dominated. What came next would change the galaxy forever. As dawn approached, humans regrouped, healed, and strategized. Each loss, each victory, each act of defiance brought them closer to proving that they were no longer passive victims. They were survivors. They were warriors. And most importantly, they had declared their limit. The sky was still filled with alien ships, but for the first time, humanity did not look up in fear. They looked up with resolve. And somewhere, deep in the heart of New York, Captain Liam Carter whispered, almost to himself, "The war begins, and we will not stop." The sun had barely risen over the ruined cities, but the human forces were already moving. There was no time to rest, no time to mourn. Every second counted, for above the horizon, alien warships still loomed, massive and unrelenting. Humanity had made its first strike, and now the real battle was about to begin. Captain Liam Carter stood on the bridge of the newly repaired command ship Defiance. The scratches on its armor told a story of the previous night's victories and losses. Smoke still rose from the streets below, but the human spirit burned brighter than ever. "Report," Liam said, his voice steady despite the fatigue etched into his face. Lieutenant Sarah Kim, now a vital part of the command team, scanned the holographic displays. Outer patrols neutralized. Our hidden fleets are in position near Mars and the asteroid belt. Alien communications are scrambled. They don't know what's coming next. Liam nodded. Good. Let's make sure they regret underestimating us. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the alien commander Zorath seethed. His officers hovered nervously, waiting for instructions. Humans are clever, too clever, one admitted. Their attacks are unpredictable, their coordination. They are monsters, Zorath snapped. but monsters who can think. And they dare defy us? They will pay for this insolence. Back on Earth, humans had discovered that their greatest weapon wasn't just ships or guns. It was strategy and ingenuity. While alien technology was superior, humans were unpredictable. They used traps, ambushes, and clever tactics that alien logic could not foresee. In the outer colonies, human strike teams attacked alien supply lines. Drones were sabotaged, communication satellites destroyed, and fuel depots erupted in spectacular explosions. Alien commanders were forced to pull their ships back to protect resources. One particularly dangerous mission involved Sarah Kim leading a small human squad aboard an alien transport ship docked near a lunar colony. The ship was heavily guarded, but humans moved like shadows, using stealth suits and hacking devices. The air inside the alien ship was cold and mechanical. Strange hums and clicks echoed through the hallways. Sarah signaled her team to move quietly. A patrol appeared ahead. Her heart pounded, but she kept her composure. With a swift, coordinated move, the humans incapacitated the guards silently, leaving no trace of their presence. "Clear," she whispered into the comms. Inside the ship's control room, Sarah's team planted explosive charges and hacked into the alien systems. Screens flickered, alarms blared, and before the aliens could understand, the ship was crippled. Human ingenuity had won again. Meanwhile, on Earth, civilians were no longer hiding. Inspired by the news of victories, ordinary people joined the resistance. Engineers repaired old drones to be weapons, teachers led small militia groups, and even teenagers contributed with intelligence and reconnaissance. In one city, a young boy named Noah watched from the ruins of his home as humans disabled a massive alien drone that had terrorized his neighborhood. He couldn't help but smile, a spark of hope in his eyes. Humans were no longer passive, they were fighters. But Zoreth was not idle. The alien fleets regrouped, bringing reinforcements from distant systems. Massive warships appeared on the edge of the solar system, each one larger and deadlier than before. Their strategy was clear: crush humanity before it could gain momentum. In orbit above Earth, Liam and his commanders planned their counterattack. "We can't match them ship for ship," Liam said, "but we can outsmart them. We will strike where they least expect it." The humans devised a bold plan. Using small, fast ships, they would infiltrate the alien fleet, targeting weak points and creating chaos. The key was to move unpredictably, forcing the aliens to spread their forces thin. As the night approached, human pilots took their positions. The air was tense, electric with anticipation. For the first time, humanity was not defending, they were attacking. The battle began in silence. The humans launched from hidden bases, slipping past alien sensors. One by one, alien ships were disabled by clever tactics rather than brute force. Mines were deployed, engines sabotaged, and alien crews captured or forced to retreat. In the midst of battle, Liam directed operations from the Defiance. "Focus on the flagships," he instructed. "If we take down their command ships, the rest will fall into confusion." And confusion it did. The aliens had never faced such coordinated resistance. Their ships faltered, their weapons misfired, and panic spread through the ranks. But the aliens were not defeated yet. Zoreth unleashed his secret weapon, a massive, orbiting cannon capable of destroying entire cities in a single blast. Humanity had never seen anything like it. "Divert all forces," Liam shouted. "We cannot let them fire." Human pilots moved with precision, dodging massive energy beams and explosions. Sarah Kim, in her sleek fighter, targeted the cannon's core. She maneuvered through fire and debris, dodging alien interceptors. "Almost there, just a little closer," she muttered, sweat and fear mixing on her face. With a calculated shot, she hit the cannon's power core. The explosion rocked space like thunder. Alien ships nearby were damaged, and the massive cannon was no longer a threat. On the ground, humans cheered as reports came in, alien outposts destroyed, reinforcements delayed, and morale rising. Humans were winning, but they knew this was only the beginning. Even as the night ended, Liam and his team prepared for the next phase. We've shown them what humans can do, Liam said. But they will come back. Harder, smarter, faster. In a quiet moment, Sarah looked at the city skyline. Fires from last night still burned, but they were controlled now. Humanity had struck back, but the cost was clear. Many lives had been lost, families shattered, and the fear of what the aliens would do next weighed heavily on everyone. And yet, there was pride. Pride in being human, in refusing to be victims, in taking a stand against impossible odds. Zorith, on his command ship, glared at the reports. His eyes burned with fury and disbelief. Humans, impossible. They are too clever. They are different. And he was right. Humanity was no longer predictable. Humanity was no longer passive. They were hunters, strategists, survivors, and warriors. And now the galaxy had to take notice. As the sun rose, humans regrouped, repaired, and prepared for the inevitable next strike. Each day of resistance made them stronger, more cunning, and more united. The tide of war was turning, and the aliens could feel it. But the humans also knew one truth. The battles ahead would test them like never before. Allies would fall, secrets would be revealed, and sacrifices would be demanded. Every human knew that victory was not guaranteed, but the fight had begun, and humanity would not stop. Captain Liam Carter stood on the bridge once more, looking at the stars. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "But we are ready. We will fight. We will win. Humanity will survive." And somewhere, in the heart of the alien fleet, Zorith realized that he had underestimated humans in the gravest way possible. The war had truly begun, and for the first time, humans were the hunters. The war had changed everything. Humanity was no longer hiding, no longer running. Cities that once trembled under alien shadows now buzzed with organized defense, and every human knew that survival depended on courage, intelligence, and unity. Captain Liam Carter stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching the vast expanse of space above Earth. Reports from the front lines streamed in. Alien fleets were moving faster than expected, reorganizing, adapting. The humans' initial victories had angered them, but it had also made them smarter. "Sir," Lieutenant Sarah Kim said, her voice tense, "we have confirmed reports of a new alien weapon. It's massive, unlike anything we've seen before. Its energy output, it could destroy entire cities in seconds." Liam clenched his fists. "Where is it?" "Near the Kuiper Belt. We believe it's being constructed in secret," Sarah replied. Every human leader in the room felt the weight of that information. The first strikes had been bold, but this new weapon was beyond imagination. If it was deployed, millions would die, and the fragile hope humanity had built could vanish in an instant. Far away, on the alien command ship, Zorith studied the humans' progress. He was furious, humiliated by repeated defeats. But he was cunning, ruthless, and patient. "They are clever," he admitted to his officers, "but they are still weak. This weapon will remind them of their place." Meanwhile, human strike teams prepared for a mission unlike any before. Liam assembled the best pilots, engineers, and tacticians for a journey to the outer edge of the solar system. Their goal: infiltrate the alien base, understand the weapon, and if possible, destroy it before it could be used. The journey was perilous. The human ships slipped through asteroid fields, dodged alien patrols, and navigated mines designed to obliterate intruders. Every crew member knew the risk. Failure meant death. Yet there was no hesitation. Humanity had come too far to turn back now. Sarah Kim led one of the small infiltration teams. Her squad included young but skilled soldiers, engineers, and even civilians trained in sabotage. Each of them carried a personal reason to fight: family lost, homes destroyed, and a burning desire to protect what remained of their world. As they approached the alien installation, the weapon came into view. It was massive, dark, and impossible to ignore. A sphere of metal and energy, suspended in orbit, humming with power. It radiated danger. One wrong move could trigger it, wiping out everything in its path. "We need a plan," Sarah said, pointing to a map of the structure projected in the cockpit. "Direct attacks won't work. We have to get inside, find the core, and disable it. Stealth first, then precision strikes. The team nodded. Every human understood the stakes. They moved silently, like shadows across the alien landscape. Sensors scanned, cameras monitored, and every sound could give them away. Inside the installation, alien guards patrolled. Their glowing eyes and sharp reflexes made them deadly. Humans avoided confrontation whenever possible, relying on cunning and speed. Then, the first challenge appeared. An alien drone hovered, scanning the hallway. Sarah signaled, and her team used electromagnetic disruptors to disable it. Sparks flew, and the drone collapsed silently. "Good," she whispered. "Keep moving." Hours passed as the humans navigated the massive structure. The weapon was closer than ever, but danger lurked at every corner. Sensors, alarms, and alien patrols tested their patience and courage. Finally, they reached the central chamber. The weapon's core glowed ominously, a sphere of pure energy surrounded by alien machinery that seemed impossible to understand. It hummed like a heartbeat, alive and deadly. "We need to plant the charges," an engineer said. "But if we make a mistake—" "Don't think about that," Sarah interrupted. "Focus. We can do this. Humanity depends on us." The team worked quickly. They connected their devices to the alien systems, careful not to trigger a chain reaction. Sweat dripped down faces, hearts pounded, and every second felt like a lifetime. Suddenly, alarms blared. They had been discovered. Alien forces poured into the chamber, weapons ready. Humans exchanged fire, using every trick they had learned. Bullets ricocheted, sparks flew, and the hum of the weapon grew louder, almost as if it were sensing the danger. "Charges ready," Sarah shouted over the chaos. "Everyone out now." Liam's voice echoed in their comms. The team sprinted toward their ships, dodging lasers and explosions. The charges detonated seconds later. The weapon shook violently, sparks flying into space. The humans barely made it to their ships as the installation began to collapse, metal twisting and breaking under the force of the explosions. From orbit, the human fleet watched the destruction. Cheers erupted. Humanity had survived, and the alien weapon had been destroyed. For the first time, humans felt that the tide of war could truly turn in their favor. But there was no time to celebrate. Zorath's fury was unmatched. The destruction of his weapon was a personal insult, a humiliation he could not forgive. "They will pay," he growled. "We will crush them, no matter the cost." Back on Earth, civilians heard news of the victory. For the first time in years, hope returned. Streets filled with people cheering, families hugging, and soldiers saluting. Humanity had struck a blow that even the aliens could not ignore. Yet the humans also knew that the war was far from over. Zorath would return with greater force, new weapons, and strategies designed to annihilate them. Every human victory had only made the aliens more dangerous. Captain Liam Carter looked at the stars, a mixture of pride and fear in his eyes. "We've won a battle," he said, "but the war is far from over. We must be ready for what comes next." Sarah Kim stood beside him. "We've shown them we can fight. That's all humanity ever needed, to show them we are not weak." Liam nodded. "Yes, but we need more than courage now. We need strategy, unity, and everything we have. The aliens are adapting, and so must we." In the shadows of the galaxy, Zorath began preparations for the next wave. Entire fleets were mobilized, new weapons tested, and spies sent to track human movements. He was determined to end humanity once and for all. But humans had learned too much. They had discovered the power of teamwork, ingenuity, and resilience. Each human, from the youngest child to the oldest veteran, understood that survival was not just about fighting. It was about hope, intelligence, and refusing to be defeated. The night sky over Earth remained dangerous, filled with alien ships and threats. But humans were no longer afraid. They were hunters now, striking back with precision and courage. As dawn approached, Liam addressed the fleet. "The aliens think they can crush us. They are wrong. We are human. We adapt. We fight. And we will survive." Today we won a battle, but tomorrow, we continue the war. And we will be ready. The human ships formed into a new formation, sleek and deadly. The galaxy had seen humanity at its weakest. Now it would see humanity at its strongest. And somewhere, in the heart of the alien fleet, Zorth realized that he had underestimated the humans in the gravest way possible. The tide had begun to turn. Humanity was no longer waiting to be attacked. Humanity was no longer afraid. Humanity was fighting back, and the galaxy would never forget. The galaxy held its breath. Humanity had fought hard, but the aliens were not done. Zorth's fury had reached a peak that no one could ignore. Entire fleets moved toward Earth, massive warships bristling with weapons so powerful they could erase entire continents. Captain Liam Carter stood on the bridge of the Defiance, the largest human command ship. His face was tired, lined with months of war, loss, and unending battles. Yet his eyes burned with determination. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, and they would survive again. "Sir," Lieutenant Sarah Kim said, her voice tense but steady, "the alien fleet is approaching Earth's orbit. They are deploying multiple superweapons simultaneously. This is their final strike. If they succeed, billions will die." Liam clenched his fists. "Then we will make sure they fail." The humans had prepared. Every city, every hidden base, every ship and soldier had been mobilized. Civilians trained as militias were stationed alongside military units. Engineers had modified weapons to counter alien technology. Even children contributed, monitoring communications and decoding signals. Humanity had become one organism, a united force. The first wave of alien ships entered orbit. Massive energy beams illuminated the night sky, turning clouds into fire. Cities trembled. Alarms rang in every home. But humans did not cower. They returned fire with every tool they had, striking with precision and courage. Liam's voice boomed across the comms. "All units, focus on the flanks. Do not let them break through our lines. Protect the cities at all costs." The battle was chaotic. Alien ships fired relentlessly, but humans were clever. They used decoys, traps, and ambushes. Small, fast ships darted between massive cruisers, sabotaging engines and disabling weapons. Every human pilot, every soldier, every civilian fighting for their home knew the stakes. In the midst of the chaos, Sarah Kim led a daring strike team toward the flagship of Zorth's fleet. The ship was enormous, bristling with deadly weapons. Their mission: board the ship, disable its systems, and kill the alien commander if possible. The team moved like shadows. Explosions rocked the ship as they slipped past guards, using agility and wit to avoid direct confrontations. Sarah's heart pounded, but she never faltered. She knew that if they failed, humanity would face extinction. Inside the flagship, Zorth's eyes glowed with rage. He sensed the humans approaching, and fury twisted his form. "They dare enter my ship?" he hissed. "I will crush them." The boarding party reached the central chamber. Alarms blared. Alien soldiers surrounded them. But humans fought with courage and precision. Every strike was calculated, every move decisive. Humans who had once been ordinary citizens now moved like warriors, unstoppable and united. Sarah reached the control room where the alien weapon systems were housed. It pulsed with energy, ready to fire on Earth. She planted explosive charges on the main reactor. "Charges ready," she whispered. "Get out now." The team raced through corridors as explosions began to rip the ship apart. Alien forces tried to stop them, but human determination was relentless. They reached their extraction point just as the flagship shook violently. From orbit, humans watched as the flagship exploded in a blinding flash. Debris scattered across space. Energy beams that had threatened to destroy Earth were gone. Humanity had struck a decisive blow. But the battle was not yet over. Smaller alien ships continued their assault. Liam and his fleet moved with coordinated precision, protecting cities and civilians while counterattacking. Every ship fired, dodged, and maneuvered with deadly skill. Human ingenuity had become their greatest weapon. On the ground, civilians fought alongside soldiers, protecting homes, bridges, and supply lines. Even the youngest fighters showed courage, risking their lives to ensure humanity's survival. In one street, a young boy named Noah, now a trained scout, guided a squad through ruined buildings to disable an alien artillery unit. Explosions erupted around them, yet he remained calm, focused, and brave. Humanity's spirit was alive in every person, from the youngest to the oldest. As the battle raged, Liam's voice rang out across comms. "This is our final stand. Every human alive must fight, not just to survive, but to show the galaxy that we are not weak. We are humanity." The final wave of alien ships was approaching. Zorath himself emerged from the shadows of his remaining fleet, towering, glowing, and furious. He unleashed a torrent of energy at the human fleet. Ships exploded in fireballs. The ground shook. Cities trembled. But humans fought back with everything they had. Engineers rerouted energy from destroyed cities to power defensive shields. Pilots used daring maneuvers to confuse and destroy alien ships. Civilians on the ground used sabotage and guerrilla tactics to disable alien machinery. Sarah Kim's team moved to confront Zorath directly. Every strike, every dodge, every move was critical. Humans were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting to prove that no alien, no matter how powerful, could break them. The final confrontation came in the heart of the flagship. Sarah and her team faced Zorath. The alien commander was immense, stronger and faster than any human. His eyes glowed with fury, his energy crackling around him like fire. "You cannot win," Zorath hissed. "Humans are weak, fragile, and doomed." Sarah stepped forward. "You underestimated us," she said. "We are not weak. We are humanity." The fight was brutal. Every strike tested human strength and willpower. Zorath lashed out with energy, but humans used speed, intelligence, and teamwork to evade him. They targeted critical systems, exploiting weaknesses only a clever mind could find. Finally, with a coordinated effort, the human struck Zorath at his core. Energy erupted around him, and with a final roar, the alien commander fell. The remaining alien forces were thrown into chaos, leaderless and vulnerable. From orbit, humans watched the last alien ships retreat, some destroyed, some fleeing back into deep space. The war that had threatened to wipe out humanity was finally ending. On Earth, people poured into the streets. They cheered, cried, and hugged each other. Humanity had survived, united and stronger than ever. From children to elders, everyone had played a part in the final stand. Captain Liam Carter looked at the horizon. Cities were damaged, lives were lost, but humanity had proven something greater than survival. They had proven resilience, courage, and ingenuity. Sarah Kim stood beside him. "We did it," she said softly. Liam shook his head. "We survived. That's only part of it. The galaxy will know now that humans cannot be ignored. We have changed, and we are not weak anymore." Somewhere in space, Zoratha's remnants regrouped. The aliens would remember this defeat. But for now, humanity had reclaimed its place in the galaxy. They were no longer prey. They were warriors. And on Earth, as dawn broke over the scarred but proud planet, humans understood the truth. The war had tested them, challenged them, and forced them to evolve. They had faced impossible odds, yet they had stood tall. The galaxy had seen humanity's final stand, and it would never forget. Captain Liam Carter turned to his crew. "The battle is over, but the future is ours to protect. Humanity will survive, thrive, and rise stronger than ever." And somewhere, deep in the stars, humans looked to the heavens, ready for whatever.